Hello everyone and welcome back to the Aussie Toffee podcast. We're back again with episode number 4. We're doing something a little bit different today. If you're listening on Spotify, it's a little less interactive, but if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you're going to see right in front of you a tier list type of setting. Now, this is exactly what we're doing here today. We're doing a tier maker. If you don't know what a tier maker is, basically it's like a list that allows you to put certain things in certain categories. So that's exactly what we're doing today, obviously because we have no game this weekend, and obviously we have no game next weekend either because of the international break. I wanted to do something a little bit fun, a little bit different, but if you are listening on Spotify, I will obviously describe where I'm putting each player into each tier. So whether you're listening to this on Spotify or whether you're listening to this on YouTube, the experience is going to be somewhat the same. Now I've got 5 different tiers here all the way. So we got on top, so this is the crucial player, so obviously our most important players of the squad, important player, squad player, meh, and then surplus to requirements. I'm going to have the whole of the 21-22 Everton squad here. So we're going to be putting each of the players into these tiers. And if you're listening, listening/watching on YouTube, I'm wearing the 16-17 home kit to commemorate the fact that we are still dealing with the mistakes of Ronald Koeman and Steve Walsh as we look at our squad here. But you know what, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I'm going to start here with Alan. Alan, obviously, center mid, brought in last season. I think at the time I'm recording this video, it's about a year since he joined the club actually last season. Alan, of course, I'm going to put him into important player. I think he's definitely one of our most important pieces in the midfield. I think this season especially is showing us exactly what we need to see from him. I think last season he started off well and then tailed off towards the end, and I hope that this season we see a more consistent Alan. But for right now, at this point in the season, he's definitely an important player for us in that midfield. Next up, let's go with Andros Townsend. And Andros Townsend, I'm going to go with an important player. I think that if we brought in another winger, he would be a squad player. But I think for right now, in the squad where it's at, I think he's definitely an important player for us, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, in terms of his leadership qualities and that sort of stuff. And then as well as that, the way we're going to play, get Dominic Calvert-Lewin headers, get balls into the box so that him and Richarlison can attack those. And that's exactly what Andros Townsend does, can kick it with both left and right feet. And I think he just adds a little bit extra to that wing, something that we didn't have last season. And I think that, again, as I said, if we brought in another winger, then we may be looking at a different story here for Andros. But for right now, with the squad's at, he's definitely going to be an important player for us moving forward. Let's go with Asmir Begovic, and then I'm just going to put him right there in the squad player tier brackets. Obviously, he's not going to play every single game, but for the odd cup game here and there, for maybe the odd Premier League game here and there, he's definitely a solid keeper, big presence in the box, kicking. There's a lot to be desired there in terms of his kicking, but his shot stopping, his frame, and how much he feels the goal, I think that is something that is an intangible. And he's going to be a very good squad player for us this season. Obviously, someone that can rotate, and then as well as that, someone that can sort of bring in the youth, bring in the players that, like the younger goalkeepers in the squad, like your Harry Tyra when he comes over his injury and that sort of stuff. I think he's just going to be a good role model as well in the dressing room. So definitely an important squad player for us there. I'm going to move on to Cenk Tosun, and I'll put him straight into surplus to requirement. Obviously paid in the fabled season of 16-17, paid I think it was like £25 million for him from Besiktas. He's coming over a really bad injury, and I just don't see him playing in an Everton kit this season. He's still in the squad. So technically he's still our player, but he's definitely surplus to requirements, and I just don't think we need him at all. Moving on, let's go to another one that's kind of a meh. Andy Lonergan. I'm going to put Andy Lonergan in meh. Like, obviously he's not surplus to requirements because we just got him, but he's definitely third string goalkeeper. I don't think we'll see him in an Everton kit, at least playing like in a competitive scene, unless something awful happens to Pickford and Begovic. But he's just there, like he's just sort of like a meh, you know what I mean? It's just, that's what that category is, just for meh players that I don't think will really add anything for us this season. Going on from one meh to a very important player, let's go ahead and just put Dominic Calvert-Lewin right there in crucial player. Obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a focal point, someone who brings the ball down, bullies defenders, someone that can get onto headers in the box. He's very scrappy. He's an old school number 9. He doesn't do these fancy runs like your Gabriel Jesus's would do. He's not a Roberto Firmino where he's more of a center, like a deep lying 9. He's a proper English number 9. He's going to score a buttload of goals for us. He's already scored 3 from 3 this season. He's on the penalty kicks. So obviously he's a crucial player for us, and there's no one else I'd want leading the line other than that man right there, definitely. Moving from Dom, we'll go to Jared Branthwaite. And I'm going to put Jared Branthwaite in squad player. I definitely want to see him get more playing time this season, and I think he will, especially considering the form of Michael Keane and the injury issues that Yerry Mina has. I definitely see him getting a lot more playing time. I think the ideal scenario would have been him going out on loan again, much like he did with Blackburn, but unfortunately got injured, and then he came back. I think the ideal situation for him would be to go on loan, but keep in mind, he's only like 19, 20 years old, so he definitely has a lot of learning to do, but I think he has a very high ceiling, and I see him as being a squad player for us, and I see him as being someone that can definitely play games for us. If we do end up playing that 5 at the back formation like we did against Huddersfield in some games, I see him very, very nicely slotting into that left centre back slot, because obviously he can kick with either left or right foot. He's very comfortable with that. So I see him being a very important squad player for us and someone that can definitely develop this year and then maybe even go out on loan in January. But for this first half of the season, I see him being an important squad player, especially at centre back. Moving on from one centre back to another, I'm going to put Mason Holgate in squad player as well. This was an interesting one because I see him this season, especially since we didn't sign a right back, I see him playing right back at times when Seamus Coleman is injured. Obviously, right now, Seamus Coleman got injured while on international duty, so it's going to be either John Joe Kenny or it's going to be Mason Holgate at right back. In my opinion, I feel a bit more comfortable having Mason at right back than John Joe Kenny because I think Mason is defensively more capable than John Joe. I think going forward, neither of them offer too much, but I feel more comfortable having Mason there at right back. I know he played right back when he first signed for us, but obviously he wants to play centre back, and he's definitely a squad player there. Very good utility player, can play either centre back or right back. But no, definitely a squad player for us, 100%. And as I said, right back cover if we need it. Let's just go on to Luca Dean. Obviously, I'm going to put Luca Dean straight into important player. He's definitely going to be a crucial piece of the squad. I'm actually going to put in crucial player. He's definitely a crucial player for us. Not important. He's more important than we think, because obviously we don't have another left back. So since we don't have another registered left back in the team at the moment, he is going to be playing week in, week out in that left back slot. And it's crucial that he doesn't get injured, and it's crucial that we monitor his fitness as well. Don't overplay him, don't burn him out, because we need him. We need his assists, we need his runs, and if he can make a good partnership on that left-hand side with either Damari Gray or Richarlison, whoever's playing on that left wing, then we can have a really, really good Baines and Peanut type of connection. That's what we wanted with Luca Dean. We kind of got it with Luca Dean and Bernard. But it just sort of never happened over the course of an entire season. But he's definitely a crucial player for us and someone that needs to be 100% fit for our team this season. So I'm going to put him there. Moving from Luca Dean on the other side of the defensive line, Seamus Coleman. I'm putting Seamus right in crucial player purely because we don't have anyone like him. And maybe it's a case of putting him an important player. Maybe I'm praising him too much, but my argument here would be that we don't have a right back like him. We don't have a right back that'll go forward and bomb on like him. As I just said, Kenny won't do that and Mason Holgate won't do that. Defensively, we need more than those two in terms of Mason Holgate and John Joe Kenny, and then we definitely need more from them going forward and attacking. And Seamus Coleman, as I said, we need to keep him fresh. He's got an injury right now. Let's hope that it's not a bad one, but we need to keep injuries out of this man, because without him, we're looking at troubles at right back. So he's definitely a crucial player for us going into this season. Moving on from him, let's go ahead and talk Tom Davies. Tom Davies, I'm putting there in squad player as well. It came out that he was being shopped around a little bit, said to be made available in this transfer window, and then sort of decided to fight and stay for his place here. He's obviously a Scouser. He's obviously an Evertonian. And I think that after that first season, that 16-17 season, he never really kicked on. He's definitely found a role. I think that right now his role is a 6, like a holding 6, someone that can shield the back four, take the ball, and then distribute it. I think that's his role now in this squad, and I think that role suits him. I don't think he's a box-to-box midfielder like we once thought he was. I think he's definitely definitely a holding 6, and I see him being a good squad player here in this team. And I honestly don't have any problems with the lad. I think that he, especially towards the end of last season, he was definitely one of our best midfielders, one of our more consistent midfielders as well. So I don't know why some fans wanted him to go or were disappointed that he was shopped out and he opted to stay, because I think that he is definitely better than Delph. And I would say he's definitely better than Gbamin at the moment, obviously, because Gbamin had 2 years off. So if you're going to sell either a Delph or a Tom Davis, you sell a Delph. So I'm going to put Tom Davis there, and squad player is going to be a good piece in this squad this season. Speaking of Delph, I'm putting Delph in surplus to requirements. We don't want him here. And his contract runs out at the end of the season, so obviously he's probably going to see that out and then move elsewhere. He's definitely going to be our left back cover this season. I think that's where he's going to play, either in the center of the pitch or at left back if Luca Dean gets injured. If he does end up playing left back, then that's a little worrisome, because then you have a guy there that doesn't move and bomb on forward. He's just going to stay and sit defensively. Same thing if we had Mason Holgate or John Joe Kenny at right back. Realistically, Luca Dean and Seamus Coleman, we don't have an out-and-out replacement for them in the way that they play. And obviously it's Fabian Delph, and he's an anti-vaxxer, and he is surplus to requirements. Let's talk about new boy Salomon Rondon. I'm going to put Salomon Rondon and squad player again. Obviously, he's a good, experienced striker. Got him on a free 2-year contract, so you can't really complain about that. I think he fits this squad better than Moise Kean. I think that his frame, the way he plays football, definitely suits the Premier League more, and then he suits the way we play more. Like, if you replace a Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a Moise Kean, you don't get the same thing. You replace a Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a Salomon Rondon, obviously you don't get exactly the same thing, but you get a similar type physical presence, headering the ball, can shoot with both feet, is a finisher. So I think Salomon Rondon is definitely a squad player here, and he's going to be a good option off of the bench for us this season. Speaking of options off of the bench, I'm going to go and talk about Andre Gomes. I'm putting Andre Gomes at squad player as well. I think that he has a really weird spot in this team. I think Rafa wants him to be a ball carrier, and we saw that in the game against Huddersfield. When he came on, he started to take hold of the ball and bring it forward, and obviously he got the assist for the Townsend goal. But I think he is going to play that sort of Decore role. I think he's Decore's understudy this season more than anything. He's going to come off the bench more times than starting, and I think that he, more than anyone in this squad, needs that little bit of confidence. And I think if we get that bit of confidence for him, he can be a really, really good player for us. But for right now, where he is, he's a squad player, but he can elevate to that level that we saw in that first season when we got him on loan. So I think that he has more to do here. There was a rumor that he was going to move to Benfica. I think that move was close, but it just never happened. I don't know what happened there with that deal. It looked like it was gonna materialize, but it just never did. But he's here now. He's gonna be in the squad at least till January. So I think that he, more than anyone, just needs that bit of confidence boost. I hope that assist against Huddersfield did that for him, and I hope he can kick on now and be that player that we saw him in that first season. So for right now, squad player, but could easily be an important player for us. Let's speak about Decore. Decore is an important player for us, 100%. We've seen it in the first 3 games of the season. His energy, his ability to get up and down the pitch, his passing. Obviously, he scored his goal against Southampton. If he can do more of that, then that'll be very, very welcome. I think that him as a target, I feel like he needs to maybe score 5 goals this season and definitely chip in with maybe 5 to 10. Because I think that the role that he's playing, he said that he's going to be more attacking this season, and that's what Rafa wants from him. So I expect him to do more of that. I expect him to do more of those bombing on runs and all that sort of stuff. So Decore, definitely an important player for us, 100%. And moving from an important player to a crucial player, Richarlison. Obviously, Richarlison is a crucial player for us. I know some people were sort of worried that he was going to leave, and then he did that thing against Brighton, and then people like bun him off. I don't think it's a case of letting Richarlison go. I think it's a case of him just wanting to score goals, and he's very eager to score goals, but he does need to mature. He definitely does need to sort of take that childlike mindset out of his game and sort of just play football. But even in that Brighton game, we saw he wasn't having the best of times either with Basuma, but he was still working hard. He was still doing things for the team. And that's what he does. That's what Richarlison brings to the team. He doesn't just bring goals and assists. He brings work rate. And that's what we need more than ever, especially if we're going to play this 2-striker formation, whether that be him playing through the middle or at times if you play like a 4-2-3-1 and he's playing off the left-hand side. He's going to bring work rate, he's going to bring energy, and he's going to bring goals. So we definitely need him and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to be firing the goals in for us this season. Another crucial player, obviously, Jordan Pickford. I don't think anyone in the goalkeeping department has his level of distribution. I think that all the goalkeepers we got are shot stoppers. Pickford, definitely an acrobatic shot stopper, but no one can kick a ball just like Pickford does. And obviously, he's England's number one. He's shown how good he is at the Euros, and he's definitely a crucial player for us. In this team right now at this moment. You look at, let's say right now, right? You look at these 5 players that we have in crucial. We have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Luca Dean, Seamus Coleman, Richarlison, and Pickford. You don't have out and out replacements for them. You know what I mean? Like, they're crucial players because if they get injured for a significant period of time, it's going to be super hard to replace what they bring to the squad. So that's exactly why they're crucial players here. Let's go from a crucial player to an important player. James Rodriguez. I'm gonna put James Rodriguez in important purely because he's still here, and there's still the Turkish window still open, I'm pretty sure, and there's a couple windows still open, so he could still move. But for right now that I'm recording this, he's still at the club, and he brings what James Rodriguez brings: goal contributions, goals, assists, pre-assists. He will only play maybe 25, 28 games a season, but for the times that he's in the squad, he will bring a little bit of that Colombian magic, and he'll be an important player for us. Him playing off of Dominic Calvert-Lewin in that second striker role maybe, or him playing in the middle with Dominic Calvert-Lewin in front of him and Richarlison off of the left, or whether that be him playing off of the right. Wherever he plays, he's going to bring a little bit of magic. And I'm glad that he's here at the club, because I'm glad that we can experience, that the fans at Goodison can experience James Rodriguez in the flesh, live. And I think that now that he's decided whether or not he moves or not, now that he's decided he's going to stay at the club, I hope he kicks on. I hope he gets his fitness right, because he'll want to play for Colombia in the World Cup. He'll want to be in and around that squad, so he needs to play games of football to do so. So I hope that he can do it for Everton, and I hope that he can bring that magic that he had in like the first half of last season here this season for Rafa and Everton here. And he's definitely going to be an important player for us if he plays, if he stays as well. Moving on from him, let's go Jean-Philippe Gbamin. Definitely a squad player for us. I think that him more than anyone just needs to be brought in slowly. Don't throw him into the deep end against Liverpool, or don't do anything crazy. He got the 90 minutes against Huddersfield, which was good for him. Good for him to know that he can play a full 90 minutes, but you can obviously see that he got really tired towards the end of that game. But it's good for him to know that he can play that 90 minutes. And I think that if he can recapture that form and that player that he was at Mainz, then we will have a very, very solid ball carrying midfielder. He can even play the 6. I think it was more him playing the 6. At Huddersfield. He could be a backup to Allen, and then maybe even replace Allen like later on, maybe next season. So I think that when we got Gbamin, I was very excited that we got Gbamin, because he was obviously the Ghana Gay replacement. And it's just unfortunate how this last 2 years has worked out for him. But I want him to kick on. I think he'll be a good squad player for us, and I'm very happy that he's sort of looking fit and looking ready to sort of kick on this season. Let's talk about Anthony Gordon. I think Anthony Gordon will be a squad player for us this season. I'm interested to see that he didn't go out on loan, but obviously there is still the opportunity for him to do so with a couple of windows still open. But I think that what he needs more than anything is to take a page out of Dom's book and sort of just beef up. Just bulk up. I don't think him physically is ready for the Premier League. I think he's got the technique, I think he's got the skill, but I don't think he has that physicality that's needed to be a winger in the Premier League. And I think that he needs to take a page out of Dom's book and bulk up. And if it does so, he can be a really good left winger for us. Let's keep in mind, he's only 20 years old, just much like Jared Brentwaite. So these kids need to be in around the squad, take some advice from his older players, and sort of kick on that way. And I think that Anthony Gordon definitely more than anything needs that ability to have a bit of beat on him, a bit of physicality, the ability to run past the player, to go shoulder to shoulder to the best left and right backs in the country. And I feel like a loan move would have done that for him to play 46 games in the championship, for example. But if he's here, I want him to be here training hard and maybe get some move in January potentially. But for right now, he's definitely a squad player for us here at the club. I'm going to go with Yerry Mina. I'm going to put Yerry Mina in important. I was thinking of putting him in crucial, but the only reason I'm putting him here in important is because of his injuries. Yerry Mina is so frustrating because he's the best center back we have at the club, but he's not fit. And he gets these little injuries here and there, and he misses out on a couple games, and we need a center back that's going to be in there week in, week out, and I want that to be Yerry Mina, but his injury record says that he can't be. So I'm going to put him here in important. He's, as I said, our best defender at the club, but he's just not reliable enough to be in that crucial role. Someone who is reliable enough to be in that crucial role is Ben Godfrey. I think Ben Godfrey is going to be that defender that is in there in the back four week in, week out. Obviously, we haven't seen him yet this season because he had COVID and he was recovering from all that sort of stuff. But I think that once we come back from international break, he's going to be in there in that squad, and he's going to be that rock solid defender that we saw last season. Obviously broke onto the scene last season. It was like a £20 million move, and everyone, and me included, was sort of like, wow, £20 million on Ben Godfrey. That's an interesting move to make there. We were linked with Gabriel throughout that whole summer window, but I feel like we got the best of that scenario. We got Ben Godfrey, and Arsenal got Gabriel, and honestly, I'd rather have Ben Godfrey than Gabriel right now. Ben Godfrey's quick, he's powerful, he's big, he's a captain. He's a future Everton captain, and I think that he needs to be in that back four week in, week out, so that eventually, when Seamus Coleman sort of slowly phases out of the squad, he will be the captain in that back line. So I definitely think he's a crucial player for us this season. We'll go to Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray, an important player for us definitely this season. We've seen it in the first 3 games, his pace, his ability to push on forward with the ball, chip in with a couple of goals, put balls into the box. He's going to be very important for us this season. And obviously, because we didn't get that other winger, I think that more than ever, we're going to be relying on him to bring us that pace, to bring us that power, to bring us and chip in with it, maybe 10 goals a season, a couple assists. I think that he's going to be crucial for us this season. Definitely 100% an important player. And obviously it's just whether like what formation we're going to play. How is Rafa going to set this team up now that he knows what squad we have? Are we going to continue playing with those 2 strikers? Are we going to go with the 1 striker and play more 4-2-3-1 with a 10? Is Demarai Gray going to play the 10? He's going to play right wing, left wing. Obviously, we know he can play anywhere across the front 3. It's just going to be interesting to see where he plays. But it's definitely going to be important for us coming into this season. Another winger that I think is going to be really important for us is Alex Iwobi. I think Alex Iwobi is coming into his own. Rafa looks to change him in some way. He looks to be more capable. He looks to be more confident. He's doing things that we've never seen him do under Carlo Ancelotti, for example. He's more a give and go player. He gives you the ball, he runs, he receives it again and gives it again. He's not a Richarlison, he's not a Demarai Gray. He has the skill, but he's more a give and go player. Threads balls in, gets the pre-assists. And I think we'll see a different Alex Iwobi this season. He's ever going to be an important player coming off of the bench, starting sometimes. Obviously, he can play anywhere across the left wing, right wing, even in a 10 role. So I think he'll be really, really good for us this season, and I hope he will be good for us because he needs that. And I think that more than anything, if, say, for example, in a future scenario where we do sell him on, we need him to be good so that we can sell him on for a good fee. But I think that Rafa's definitely changed Alex Iwobi. We've seen it in the first couple of games of the season. He looks a different player. He looks more confident, so he's going to be a very important player for us this season. I'll finish off. I'll do John Joe Kenny. I'm putting John Joe Kenny in meh because honestly, I don't think he's good enough. I really don't think he's good enough. He wasn't good enough for Celtic, and he's not good enough for us here. That game against Huddersfield that he played at right back, he just didn't show anything. He didn't bomb forward. He defended okay, but I just don't see him being the replacement for Seamus Coleman. He doesn't do the same things. If you asked me this question a couple years ago when he broke out onto the scene, I would tell you that he could be that player. And he has the talent to be that player, but 4 years on from that, he just hasn't done anything. So I'm putting him in meh because I don't think he'll really play this season. I think if anything, it's going to be Seamus Coleman or Mason Holgate at right back. And I think he's just going to be there. And I hope he does get a move in January or maybe next summer, but I just don't think Everton is the team for him. And speaking of Everton, not the team for him, Michael Keane. I'm putting Michael Keane in squad because I don't want to see him in the first 11. That might seem harsh because he started pretty much most of our games. I actually think he started all of our games this season. He's more dependable than Yerry Mina in terms of injuries and availability. But defensively, man, he's such a confidence player. And if his confidence is low, you know he's going to come up with a mistake. A lot of the goals we've conceded this season have been because of him. So he's not meh, and he's not surplus to requirements. If it was me, if it was up to me, I'd just have him in and around the squad this season and have Yerry Mina and Ben Godfrey be the centre backs. Maybe Mason Holgate. I honestly put, this may seem harsh, but I put Michael Keane as our 4th string centre back because he's old enough to not make those silly mistakes. He's experienced in the Prem, but he doesn't look it. And I don't think he's a leader either in that back line. So I'm just going to put him in squad player for now. That is my tier list for the Everton squad of this season. For the Spotify people, I will go through each tier. So in crucial player, we have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Luca Dean, Seamus Coleman, Richarlison, Jordan Pickford, and Ben Godfrey. An important player, I've got Alan, Andros Townsend, Abdoulaye Doucouré, James Rodriguez, Yerry Mina, Damari Gray, and Alex Iwobi. In squad player, I have Asmir Begovic, Jared Branthwaite, Mason Holgate, Tom Davis, Salomon Rondon, Andre Gomez, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, Anthony Gordon, and Michael Keane. In meh, I've got Andy Lonergan and John Joe Kenny. And in surplus to requirements, I've got Cenk Tosun and Fabian Delph. But that is the squad. That is how I ranked Everton's squad for this season. And that is going to do it for this episode of the Aussie Toffee podcast. Obviously not as long as I would like it to normally be, but there's just not a lot to talk about. We did our transfer roundup, and obviously we're in international break right now. Next week, we'll have a bit of a better podcast because we do have some football to look forward to going into the week after. And next week, I also want to get some Everton opinions from people on Twitter and sort of get opinions and then talk about those opinions as well. So if you're not following me on Twitter, it's at the Aussie Toffee on Twitter. And if you want to submit some opinions, definitely I'll be tweeting, and whenever I tweet, I'll get those opinions from those tweets and I'll talk about it here in next week's podcast. But I hope you guys enjoyed the listen and enjoyed the watch as well. Leave a like and comment down below. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and follow me on Spotify and all those platforms. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.